Hey, Bob, this is Bruce Stenberg calling. How are you?
Hi, how are you, Mr. Stenberg?
I'm good. I just want to let you know that I am on a recorded line, just so that you know. So just to kind of keep a record of our conversations for the future.
Now live, CBS 3 Eyewitness News.
Tonight, a dramatic show of sheer, brutal natural power. The Delaware Valley is left drenched and damaged by a nightmarish Saturday storm.
I've never felt wind like that.
Flooding rains and battering winds. And even with tremendous damage already done, this storm doesn't seem to be done with us yet. Good evening, everyone. I'm Natasha Brown. All across the area, this Saturday storm leaves us with a major mess. Trees are down, streets are flooded, homes are damaged, and the rain has yet to stop. Eyewitness News has every angle covered for you tonight. Meteorologist Carol Erickson is tracking the storm right now, and Elizabeth Herr shows us the aftermath in Philadelphia and its suburbs. But let's start at the shore in Atlantic City, perhaps the epicenter of the damage. Eyewitness News reporter Walt Hunter shows us the storm as it happens and what it leaves behind.
Sirens wailed as winds roared, toppling trees, ripping away rain gutters, and literally blowing down this 4-story home.
This was a serious situation because I've never felt wind like that come out of nowhere.
Fortunately, firefighters using high-tech search devices discovered there were no victims inside. The winds also cracking and tilting this nearby house and ripping the roof from this one, leaving a total of 9 people temporarily homeless. The fire chief of Atlantic City puts the wind gusts here at hurricane strength, maybe higher than 70 miles an hour. And just trying to stand up in these winds at times is extremely difficult. Pedestrians simply held on the best they could as debris blew down the streets and through the air.
Good reason. Now, this powerful combination of heavy downpours and gusting winds also causing big problems in and around Philadelphia. Eyewitness News reporter Elizabeth Herr continues our coverage with a closer look at the damage.
At one point, Lincoln Drive was shut down and the storm also knocked out power, but now the lights are back on and traffic moving again. These are signs of improvement. Some people are still waiting to see where they live.
Just a loud crack.
Linda Christopher is calm now, but take a look at the size of the tree that crashed into the back of her house just as she was relaxing on this couch inside. So the tree missed you by inches.
Yeah, yes. If it had come through the window, it would have probably got me.
This is catastrophic to me anyway. I never had anything like this happen before.
Linda's boyfriend, Russ Stacy, is still shaking his head, looking at the muddy mess, the wires and cables hanging loose in his backyard. He's just grateful the only casualty here, power on his street in Levittown.
That's the main thing. Yeah, we're all safe.
Over in New Jersey, the homeowners here in Haddonfield are also relieved they're just dealing with a close call. But some others not so fortunate, with trees landing on their car and their home. Back in Pennsylvania, in northeast Philadelphia, wild winds left a trail of destruction. We found live wires still smoldering on the ground, a giant tree laying across the outer lanes of the boulevard, and this tree just off of Grant and Bustleton Avenues, no match for Mother Nature.
We were glad that the storm wasn't bringing snow. But all the major snowstorms we have didn't bring this much devastation.
And now Russ Stacy and neighbors are wondering when they'll get their power back, and officials tell us crews are doing their best and working as quickly as they can to restore power to all of their customers. Reporting along Lincoln Drive, I'm Elizabeth Herr, CBS 3 Eyewitness News.
Hardly any area was spared the destruction from this powerful storm. Eyewitness News cameras in Reading, Berks County. Strong winds peeled off a tin roof in the 400 block of Gordon Street. Fortunately, no one was injured there. Meantime, thousands of homes and businesses are still without power at this hour.
Well, obviously you've been through quite a lot. I mean, there's no question with this whole thing. I did read the letter, and I did go through the file. And
I left a lot of it out just because I'm tired of telling my story. But honestly, I had a relationship that got me into this house. I had a relationship that ended in December of the year prior, and so like I redid a lot of the house to kind of just get over that whole thing, and it was not the place I really wanted to live to begin with. But So I was like getting back, I was like in 2 years of depression. I had walked out of a company, all this stuff, and I was just getting back to like, okay, my house is in order, everything's in order, and then this occurred. And so it really just like set me back a lot, and the challenges that I had to deal with, more so like with the remediation company and stuff. I mean, the fact that, well, I'm sorry, I should let you talk, but like it was so. I never dealt with any of this stuff before. I've never had like a major like problem like that, like a fire or like that was big. That wasn't like I couldn't on a piece of paper figure out what it was that it cost me to replace something. You know what I mean? So I feel like I got swindled into everything, and everyone's just kind of looking out for themselves, and I'm still here with open walls and ceilings and stuff because and it's just terrible. So I mean, I got the energy to write you guys that letter, and it took all my energy I could do that day, and just before you say anything, like it really disappoints me that you already started the call leaving me the message that there's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do.
Well, I'm sorry you feel that way. I did look at it from the beginning to the end twice, actually, and I talked to other people that were involved in the claim. I talked to someone even that had nothing to do with the claim and explained, the situation, so we could get.
But
maybe
what is the situation?
A fresher.
I had wind damage to my roof that caused rain.
But but there's no evidence that there was wind damage to the roof, and therein lies the whole issue, Mr. Stenberg, because you have the type of policy that requires that in order for there to be damage or coverage for the interior to your home, there has to have been confirmed wind damage. And what we have is a picture.
First of all, I got suckered into this whole like public adjuster thing. So my hands were kind of tied in a sense because every time I tried to talk to you, you wouldn't talk to me. My hands were also tied because I couldn't get to the roof to actually see what was going on. I could only see from the inside of my house. There was a person a roofer put a patch on a roof, and apparently there was pictures or something, I don't know, of this repair. My roof didn't leak. I have a letter from when I purchased the house because the roof was inspected, and there was actually a few spots in the roof that they had to repair. Not like it was around like piping or something. Mm-hmm. But the roof was said to have like 10 years of life, and it was in good shape, and that was like 2 years before. So this isn't something that was like it was existing, and it I just didn't do anything about it. This was something that suddenly came on, and next thing I know, my 3 floors are all soaked with water in the front.
But the problem is that there was no evidence of roof damage. I mean, there may have been a repair there, but there was no evidence that it was a repair that was done right after this happened because the photograph.
There was an invoice that said that the repair was done, and your company said to fix or repatch or whatever the problem. And
that's where there's a discrepancy as well, because I'm not seeing where that's something that we said to do.
It was. It was said right when I called you guys.
Well, it may indeed have been said, take all steps necessary that you feel to, protect the property and so forth. But that doesn't necessarily mean that it's something that we would pay for.
And I would have never called one. If I didn't know, if I didn't know what that word, like the Allstate representative told me to contact them, not that particular company, but to like you just said, to take all necessary steps, if it's a leak in the roof or whatever, then patch it. Whatever it was, take the sheetrock down so there's no more mold or mold doesn't grow. I wouldn't know to take those steps unless someone said something. And I did take those steps based on what you guys said. Now, I know that when I called, I was told that you guys were going to come right out within a few days. And I don't believe that happened.
Well, it didn't, because the public adjuster wasn't ready to meet with us until whenever he was ready to meet with us. So, that's an issue in and to itself. But, the photograph that was ultimately shown to us, I mean, we had there was no way to tell whether it was even your roof or not. It was a photograph of a photograph, and so we did send someone out a second time to look at this, to look at this with the public adjuster and so forth, and we just don't have evidence here. And then, a repair is done before we get there.
You could have seen the water damage from inside.
But again, there would have had that if there is water damage on the inside, it has to have been forced through an opening in the roof. That's the type of policy that you have.
And it was.
But that's just that our investigation shows that there was no damage to the roof from this particular windstorm.
Something days after the damage.
What's that?
Your investigation was done like 20, 30 days after the damage. When you're Allstate here, they didn't even have a ladder to go onto the roof.
And that's why we came and came again with the ladder to look at it, with the public adjuster as well.
How do you deny a claim when you didn't even see it the first time?
Well, I think he did see it, though. I think he did see it. You weren't. I thought you weren't there the first time.
They did not have a ladder because it was 35 feet high or something, and they couldn't get up there.
So then we brought out. Then another roofer came out and brought a ladder. Correct? It must have been that.
I don't know. I got a report from you guys.
See, we're at a point now, Mr. Stenberg, where we're 2 years after the loss. We've had 2 inspections of the property. Managers have been involved. Public adjusters have been involved. And then not involved. And
you saw everything. Look, I tried to tell you guys everything that happened, hoping that honestly, not only would you guys settle up with this claim, but potentially help me with trying to get rid of this guy who charged I think double for the charge for he fraudulently charged stuff to Allstate, who didn't pay the claim, so they didn't pay his bill, and then in turn charged me. I went after him or contacted him about that in protection of Allstate and my concerns, because he was defrauding you guys. Now, you guys didn't pay it, so you guys said your hands are wiped of it. But the thing is that, I am just a consumer, and I purchased insurance from you guys in good faith that you were going to take care of me when this type of situation occurred. Not only do I feel like I was not in helping hands, but I was told the direction to go to this remediation. I did it. Now, granted, I could have chose any company. I wish I would have known that because this particular company, they're like a swindler, and I didn't know anything about that, so it was an all new learning experience for me. And then them calling in for the public adjuster so they can make a cut out of my claim. I think that they weren't trying to help me either, and it took me over a year to get their name off this claim because you guys wouldn't talk to me, which I guess is it's how it works, and that's fine. But they never did anything. The guy that did the restoration stuff, which cut out some sheetrock on 3 floors, put some fans in, apparently charged you guys $4,000, saying charged $1,000 for a dump truck, which they never had, and charged like all this crap. And I stood up to him and said, look, my claim was denied because of photos or whatever that you guys, I think you said improper photo or not enough photos. Again, you know, as the customer, I just, you know, I had water coming into my house that I never had the previous 2 years. And that one day I had water coming in, a lot of water. And there's only, you know, there's only one, I mean, okay, there could have potentially been on that same day that there was huge windstorms that the roof just decided to you know, crack or whatever it does, and it had no cause from the wind, no reason whatever. But that doesn't make any sense because it was so windy. Like my house, I felt like was gonna, you know, the windows were gonna blow in. That's how windy it was. And so it's conceivable that, you know, the wind caused some damage. And apparently, from what I understand, it wasn't necessary. It was on the roof, but it was, from my understanding, like the front of my house has like it has like a facade on the roof, kind of like and then it has like a roof part that also goes down to the or it has like the roof, and then it kind of goes up a little bit. I don't know if it's like a guard or something. I don't know what you call that. But anyway, my understanding is that it was there, but I may be wrong because I never got up to the roof. But I also know that roof repair was, I believe, white, and all my other stuff was black. So, and there was an invoice and all that stuff. And so I can only go by what these people said. And you guys came out and said, apparently, you denied the claim because you don't see any damage of the roof or whatever. But the patch was supposed to be, if they put the patch on the roof to prevent any further water damage, which is what Allstate said. And so I feel like everyone kind of in a small, like everyone's just kind of been protecting themselves and stuff, and I'm just here saying this is what happened. And not only is this what happened, but like in trying to stick up for you guys, I got this guy who I really think that this guy is fraudulently. I think I found a process with him and how he does his things, and I think he has probably a lot of little fraudulent claims, and he probably goes and I think he has a little. I think I discovered something with him, and so he shut me up by pressing charges against me, and I got out of jail. I sat in jail. I've never been arrested in my entire life, and for 24 hours I sat in Philadelphia jail because of this house. Okay, and I got out of jail, and I spoke to a manager because I had just gotten his name off the person's name off the claim, the public adjuster, and I told him what happened, and he's like, "That doesn't surprise me. They're connected with the police. They pay out kickbacks or whatever." And he said, "We'll look into. I think your homeowner should cover an attorney to pay for you since you're being sued. Blah 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 blah. We'll look into that, whatever." And then he calls me back the next day and says, "No, we're not going to do that either because we didn't pay the claim, because I don't know, something with another thing that's not covered. My policy doesn't cover anything apparently." And and then I said, "Well, aren't you guys interested in trying to pursue this? This company's like not, charging you more money, and he could be doing it with other claims." And they're like, "No, we're not really interested." I was just like, okay. So on one mouth, you're like complaining about like fraudulent insurance claims, and yet I'm sitting here telling you what was going on. You didn't care. All I know is that all through this whole process, I tried to do the right thing. No one else seemed to want to, but I did. And I honestly just didn't have the energy to contact you before this or anyone because I am so tired of fighting this losing fight with these companies that just, I feel like just want to take advantage of everyone. And I feel so taken advantage of. And, you know, if your company does not want to correct, you say that there was no patch on the roof. There's an invoice that says that they put a patch on the roof. There was the public adjuster who said that there was a damage to the roof, okay? Your company took 20, 30 days to come out, okay? And then you're going to dispute the fact that it's not there. Law says,
well, no, I never disputed that at all. But whether was there damage to the roof? That's what we're disputing. That someone ordered them to put a patch on a roof, but we never got a chance to see if there was damage.
But you never asked if it was damaged. I was told.
But we did though. And
no, it was not said.
If we didn't do an investigation with two different adjusters and other managers involved, I hear what you're saying, and I hear what you're saying throughout all of this.
But a bunch of claims very similar to this that you deny and deny and deny. You deny a lot of claims. Very similar, and I have all of the documentation. It's almost a duplicate, and they won. So, I can just copy this whole civil action and put my name in it because it's from Pennsylvania. It's everything. I mean, your dispute is that you didn't see the damage or whatever it was when you could see it on the inside, even if you didn't see it because the patch was done.
But
there's an invoice and there's other things. Damage is done.
I don't mean to upset you. I just, believe me, if there was something that I could do after 2 years, I would certainly be doing it. What's that? What is that?
To sue someone in court for contracts, it's 4 years in Pennsylvania.
1 year. No,
it's 4 years.
1 year. Well, if that's what you feel that you have to do, Mr. Stenberg, you can do that.
To do that?
It would be easy to call and just say, yes, I'm sorry, we made a mistake, but I don't see where we made mistakes here. All right, I see where there's a criminal action involved, and I see where we have the type of policy that there's has to be confirmed wind damage, and it's not confirmed, and regrettably, I just don't think that there's anything further to do here.
There was a huge storm. If this went to a jury, you would lose.
I don't think we would. I don't think that we would, sir.
That I went through, and you're still sitting there and denying it. I mean, it's so. How do you live with yourself when, especially someone like me that went through everything that I've gone through, because of $13,000 that Allstate is going to say, you know what? Because we didn't get to see it, even though they told me to get the roof repaired first, which I haven't.
But no one, and that's the dispute. We never ever did that. We never told you to do that.
You did,
and that's a huge dispute. I'm not sure, sir, how you knew, but we did not tell you
to repair, to stop water from coming in, to repair whatever. Your company would never say that. You would come.
We may, but we didn't say it here because it would be documented in the file, and it wasn't documented. I'm sorry, Mr. Stenberg. I just don't see where there's anything further we can do.
So if I didn't put the patch on the roof, let me ask you this. Would you have covered any additional losses from the additional water that would have leaked into the house after that storm?
If it was determined that there was wind damage, yes. But there was no wind damage to your roof, no confirmed wind damage.
There was. You're coming out and you're saying 30 days or 20 days afterwards there was no wind damage. how you need to have proof when you go to court. You have to prove that there was no wind damage. So what is your proof?
You have to prove that there was.
And
so,
I have
but we're at this point. I don't think we're not going to court. I mean, we're past the statute of limitations on that. And
you're not past the statute.
Well, we are.
You're not.
Well, I mean, you know a lot about. You seem to, have, done an investigation as to what, can and cannot be done with that. Which makes me wonder. You must have known, but then you're saying that we're the ones that said to call a mitigation vendor out, and that you wouldn't have known anything about that. So,
correct. I called up and said,
curious.
I'm sorry. Excuse me.
No,
excuse me.
That?
I am still your customer. Maybe not tomorrow.
I understand.
But I am still your customer. And you
are
very ignorant right there. And I'm sorry.
Well, I'm not trying to be at all. I really am not. You're accusing. You're saying that you're going to sue us, and you know about that legal process and so forth. So it strikes.
What it was. Well, you were just. I am your customer. I am still your customer. You don't talk to me that way. That is
like what way?
Atrocious.
Well, what did I do that was atrocious? Did I say that was atrocious?
You were trying to belittle me about the fact that I went and looked up some cases, and that you must have known about them.
Well, no. I'm not. I am not belittling you at all.
Yes, you
at this. But every time I say something, you say that I'm wrong. About the legal part of it and so forth, and I'm not wrong.
And I said there was.
I'm not. So I'm really sorry that you feel that way. That was not, certainly not my intent.
I'm sorry.
I
just show.
Now we're getting. We don't need to get into an insulting. We do not be.
After everything I've done.
I would ask that you please don't be insulting. I mean, we don't have to do that.
Very insulting.
All right. Well, no, I ask that you not be insulting, and not at all, sir. You're putting words in mouth and so forth. Let's not do that. All right. I've looked at the claim all the way from the beginning until now, and you're angry, and I understand your anger. But it doesn't make it change that the claim is not covered.
Your company doesn't get it. You look at a company like Apple, who almost went bankrupt, and whose president, until he passed away, would respond to customers' letters when they have a problem like this. He would personally respond to the letter, not send it to some other person like what happened right now. But he would. I mean, if that was the case, I could have just called. If I wanted to speak to you, I probably could have just called up and did that. The first wrong move that was made is that your vice president of claims did not want to contact me, and then he sends it down to someone else. I honestly didn't even want to speak to you. I wanted to speak to someone higher up that actually has maybe a little heart and some brains to know that this is the right thing to do. But instead, I get someone who wants to belittle me to make themselves feel better or something.
Now you're real. That is insulting. The last thing I did was belittle you, sir. Absolutely not. I've been accused of things before, but that's really not fair. You're not being fair. No, it's not fair that you're accusing me of that. All right, that is the last thing that I did or would do to you, sir.
Sir,
and it's just not. It is not fair that you put me in that light. I really don't appreciate that at all. But I am appreciative of the fact that you're upset with us. But I cannot change the. I cannot change the decision here.
It never worked. Here's the thing. Steve Jobs, until he died, would answer customers, emails, make things right because it's the right thing to do. And look how they flourish. And all you're doing is like sidetracking everything And you're sitting here right now, whatever you want to call it, belittling me, whatever. I am your customer, first of all, and I still pay a premium. And I believe I got hit with a surcharge because I had a claim, even though you guys didn't pay it. But I have to hear from my company that is supposed to represent me, who I followed their directions, and you're saying that never happened. You have a recorded phone call. You could hear exactly what was said. So pull the tape, and you can hear what was said.
We don't have the tape, sir. No, we don't have the tape. We don't record everything.
Okay, well,
I don't know where we're going back and forth with each other and getting nowhere.
Can you have your vice president of claims call me? That's who I sent that.
And it was referred to us here in a local atmosphere. So no, I can't say that I can have him call you.
That letter was sent to him.
I will express to the local management here that you are upset that Mr. Roach didn't call you. I will do that. And I don't know what will happen from there, sir.
Okay. Well, I can tell you what. I am going to file suit. But not only am I going to do that,
let's not be threatened. Please, let's not be threatening, sir.
No,
okay?
But I'm going to make it known that my experience about Allstate and about this, and I will definitely make it known. So hopefully other people can decide when choosing an insurance company, you're not in good hands with Allstate, which should be the last. I don't even know why you continue to use that slogan. It's a lie. But I will make sure people know that at least in my situation, this was what happened, and this was all the way through. This is what happened. Sent a letter to a guy who never wanted, to the vice president, who didn't want to respond to me because he doesn't respond to the customers. We don't talk to customers. We're vice presidents. And sends it to you, who then tells me the same thing that I've heard all over again. And, whatever you want to call it, belittled me, made me feel,
Oh, absolutely not. I completely object to that term, completely.